For years, I have watched other artists use CosClay when sculpting potentially more fragile parts of their sculpture. So they would sculpt the main part out of Super Sculpey and parts like fingers, capes, ears, horns, etc. out of CosClay. So after years of thinking I should try this, I finally did with my little Sipping Simon monster. But how flexible is CosClay? In today's video, I'm going to test its limits against other popular brands. Hello, my name is Andrew and I love to make monsters. Before we get started, I need to make and bake some pieces to test against each other. I'm going to test Fimo Soft, Primo, Super Sculpey, Sculpey 3, Das Smart, and of course, CosClay. To make this test fair, I'm going to roll out all the clay to the exact same thickness. To do that, I'll use my clay pasta machine, or sometimes called a clay conditioning machine, or various other names. It's kind of crazy how many names this thing can have. To make this test a little more accurate, I decided to make 2 samples of each clay, just in case there are variations in the pieces I roll out. I did make sure to run the clay through the pasta machine several times to make sure it was properly conditioned. The second part of the flexibility test won't be as accurate, but should be accurate enough. I'm going to roll out snakes of clay and have them taper down to a point. This way I can see how much the thickness of the clay affects the flexibility of it. Also thought this shape would mimic what a sculptor would make when making a creature's tail or maybe a tentacle. With all my pieces rolled out, I can go ahead and bake everything according to package instructions. You see here I have an extra piece of CosClay rolled out that's a bit bigger. That's the piece I used in the thumbnail of this video. Hopefully it was eye-catching enough to draw in some new viewers to my channel. Some of these baked at different temps and times, so I made sure to bake those separately. Now let's test the flexibility, starting with Fimo Soft. It had a pretty good bend to it, but it didn't quite reach 90 degrees. The placement of my thumbs could have affected the results a bit. Let's try the second piece. That time I had my thumbs further out, and I was able to bend past 90 degrees before it broke. I think that's really good for a clay that isn't even marketed as flexible, at least not that I know of. Now on to the tentacle. It broke fairly easily and would always break where my thumb was putting pressure. Alright, Primo, you're up. This is my favorite clay and one I use in most of my projects that require colored clay. I'm really impressed. I'm able to bend the Primo almost 180 degrees. I had no idea it was that flexible, which seems a bit odd since I've been using it for over 10 years, but it's not like I purposely abuse my sculptures to see how durable they are. The second piece performed just as well. I did put a bit more pressure on it and it started to develop a bit of a stress mark on it. But wow, why is this clay so durable? The tentacle piece is extremely flexible no matter where I bend it at. Oh, Super Sculpey, I know where this is going. I use Super Sculpey for my more detailed sculpts that I plan on painting, because it really holds the details better than any clay that I know of. But I knew from my large dragon sculpture that thin pieces are very brittle. I broke a few claws on that guy, and I think that's why so many sculptors use CosClay with Super Sculpey when making sculptures. This clay performed exactly how I thought it would, and snapped right after I gave it a slight bend. On to Sculpey 3, in my opinion, the cheaper version of Primo. Sculpey 3 snapped pretty quickly, maybe performing slightly better than Super Sculpey. I even tried having my thumb spaced out a bit, and it still snapped right at the tip of my thumb. The tentacle didn't fare any better. Our last clay before we get to CosClay, Das Smart. Wow, look at that bend. It might be giving Primo a run for the money. After a lot of pressure, I was able to snap the second piece. The tentacle didn't perform as well. Okay, CosClay, you are up. Are you really that fantastic flexible plastic? Took a lot of pressure, snapped pretty close to 180 degrees. I couldn't get the second piece to snap, but it did develop a stress mark. Tentacle was very flexible with no issues whatsoever. I actually had the idea to do this video over a year ago and make this piece of CosClay at that time. Let's see if it's still flexible. It bent really far, but did snap easier than the recently baked pieces. I hope this helped you decide what clay to get when you need something that's a bit more flexible. Although some of these clays broke pretty quick, I don't think that is a negative towards them as they are not labeled as a flexible clay. I just wanted to include as many different types of polymer clay as I could. After doing this, I'm curious if the Primo was as flexible as it was because I chose a color that had glitter in it, or maybe it varies by color. Does the color of clay affect the flexibility of it? Possible future video idea. What do you think of my test results? Will you try CosClay after this? If you're enjoying this video, be sure to subscribe to my channel and make sure to ring that notification bell so you know when new videos are posted. If you have any questions about this test or if you have a video idea, please let me know. I will put links to all these clays in the description below, including some Amazon affiliate links if you want to help support the channel. Just double check different locations to see which one has the best price before you do any shopping. Before I go, I want to give a special shout out to my Patreon backers, Kirsten, Heather, Jacob, Jeff, Delaney, Brandy, and Ani. I am so thankful for your support of my art journey. If you want to support the channel and see some behind the scenes photos, consider joining my Patreon. Or you can check out my online store. Links to both of these are in the description box below. Thanks for watching, and remember, never stop creating. Bye!